Alright, so I just want to run through quickly inzight because I know some of you guys got confused in class at the end there. So if you are in OneNote and you go back to the content library and inference, you should see instructions for inzight there. That's where you want to click for that link. And at the very top there is a link there that you can use, and these instructions go through that word by word, but I might just run it through because it's quite easy to watch, and you can look at those if you need as well. So click on that link. It takes you to a web page that looks like this. And the next thing I want you to do is click on the inzight online at the top. And now you have to pretend you're a human, which is sometimes hard. So it could be just looking and reading numbers off of an address photograph of a house, or sometimes putting in words, which can be a challenge. Sorry, mouse is being slow. Submit it, you'll see a countdown comes up. That's normal. And this will give you a second link that you want to click on here. So everybody's will be different. And if you've been onto this a few times in one day, it'll just say you've already got a session, and you can click on that as well. But if you haven't been on in a while, you get a new link. So click on it. And here we see all this information. Now, depending on what browser you're in, you are going to see either something that says browse for files here, or you'll see, like in our case, one that says choose files. So I think Firefox has browse, and Chrome and Safari may have choose files. You can see the difference between those. But anyways, click on that box wherever it says choose file or browse. And I want you to go onto your file wherever, into your computer, wherever you might have stuff stored, and make sure you find your Excel file, and it should be as CSV. So if you open that, you'll see it comes up. And I probably should have shown this earlier, but I'll just show you now. On my Excel file, I went and I added tree at the very top and number of apples at the very top. And then I've got 30 of each, so you'll notice near goes down to 31 and far goes down to 61 to account for that extra title at the top, tree and number of apples. It just gives you a prettier graph. And again, when you're saving, make sure that you are saving it as comma delimited or CSV, Macintosh or CSV, MS-DOS, doesn't really matter, just any of those will work for you. So if you've got that file saved, and we've gone again browsed in to add it like we just did on selecting files, you'll see it here. If you want to see all the data points, you can actually adjust how many are shown, and you can say give me all 60 points, and you can scroll down and see all 60 points, but you don't actually have to do that. It doesn't really matter. If you accidentally load the wrong file, you can always choose a new file, and yep, there we are. So next thing to do, which is a bit weird because I can't show you on the way this is formatted at the moment. Let me change my window size. Sorry. There we go. So if you look at the top of your page, you'll see that you're in data where you've uploaded stuff, and we want to go into basic. So you click on basic at the top of the page, and you've got two things here to pick from, variable 1 and variable 2. Now, as soon as you select variable 1, the whole screen's going to change, so be aware of that. So I want to select, if you've titled your Excel sheet, you should see trees and number of apples, but if you didn't, just select whatever's there. You might see near and then some random thing like X77. You can just click on the first one, and everything changes. We see all this different stuff. That's okay. Just scroll down to the bottom below those big green graphs and select your second variable. And here I'm going to choose number of apples, or if you haven't titled it, it might just be some other random variable. Go ahead and click on that. But you should still see near and far on there as our actual points. So now you've got this, you want to do a screenshot of your graph and put it onto OneNote. So again, if you're in OneNote, you want to if you're in the content library looking at this stuff, go back up and find your name. So for instance, if you're Abby, find Abby, go into inference, and she can screenshot and paste in pictures of her graphs in here, and that's where you'll actually do your typing, but we will get rid of that for a second. So looking again at our graph that we see here, screenshot that in. The next thing that you want to do is scroll back up to the top and you see plot and then get summary. This is where you get your actual values that you'll need to calculate your range and your IQR and to actually know what everything is. So again, you screenshot the summary of the number of apples by tree, and that you also paste into OneNote. And so from here you can get your range, which is the maximum minus the minimum, and you can get your interquartile range, which is third quarter minus the first quarter, and then you also have your values for your mean and your medians. So once you've got those two things pasted into OneNote, you should be alright. And if you go back into apples near and far from the river, there's some examples that I put in there, but you should use your own graph if you've got it. And importantly, what I put in here is just a reminder for you of what I want you to write about. So we're doing the analysis part. Most importantly, get that part done. And when we're done with that, we'll start working on the conclusions as well.